What's going on, guys? Josh Engelman for Awesemo.com, and these are my NBA DFS contenders. My top 10 plays of the day for today, Monday, January 27th. Be sure to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you know when we go live. Use the promo code CONTENDER for 50% off your first week of Awesemo Plus. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, chilling on the outside, looking in. Who's going to be in the top 10? Find out now. Coming in at number 10, we've got a guy with a Q tag, Jimmy Butler. Butler's got a tough matchup here against Orlando. Not going to be a fast game. Orlando's solid defensively. But I think we're going to see a lot of value today. And being able to grab guys in this 8K or higher range is going to be kind of easy. I love getting someone like Butler, fills the stat sheet, should dominate the ball. As long as he's on the floor, I'm going to be very happy using Jimmy Butler. Coming in at number 9, we have the first of many Houston Rockets, Clint Capela. I tend to not worry too much about Rudy Gobert's defense against other centers, and more against the rest of the team. Still not the best matchup, but Capela should play as many minutes as he can handle in a spot where the Rockets are shorthanded. I like my chances in those scenarios. Sticking with my theme of Houston Rockets, we have Eric Gordon. Again, he's going to be a major benefactor for Russell Westbrook, likely sitting out for rest, and James Harden likely being out due to a thigh injury. This is much more of a FanDuel Yahoo play than it is a DraftKings fantasy draft play. He's way more expensive on DraftKings and fantasy draft, $2,500 cheaper on FanDuel, in fact. Grab him on those two sites, still play him on DK and fantasy draft, but pump the brakes a bit. Now, at number 7, we have the guacamole man himself, Andre Drummond. Drummond gets to take on the Cleveland Cavaliers. Tristan Thompson playing slightly less minutes as of late. He's either dealing with Thompson, John Henson, Larry Nance, Kevin Love. Not exactly a murderer's row from a defensive standpoint. I think this is a really great spot for Drummond, particularly on FanDuel, although there's a lot of value at center. But either way, I see Drummond being a key part of my lineups across the board. At number 6, we have someone that I don't generally roster all that often, but the matchup is too good to ignore. De'Aaron Fox gets a date with Minnesota. Should be a really fast-paced game. He'll be able to get up and down. And as I've mentioned before, having Karl-Anthony Towns back on the court for Minnesota negatively impacts their defense tremendously. This is a great spot for Fox. I'm hoping that he goes overlooked a little bit, and I expect him to be involved in my lineups from the start of the day till the end of the day, regardless of what news we end up getting, unless he gets scratched, obviously. Coming in at number 5, we are going back to Houston. Austin Rivers. He's essentially minimum salary clear across the board. You're expecting him to play 30-plus minutes with Russell Westbrook and James Harden not being on the floor. I can't really see a scenario where you avoid him. There's so much value in this game for Houston. Austin Rivers likes to shoot when those guys are out. I'm going right to him. I see very little downside. And at number 4, we have Karl-Anthony Towns. Towns gets a great matchup against Sacramento. He'll see some amount of minutes against Dwayne Dedmon, Harry Giles, Nemanja Bjelica. That seems to be a really good spot for him. His salary is largely irrelevant given the amount of value we already have. It's only going to get easier and easier to fit someone like Towns in. He's back to playing 34, 35, 36 minutes a game. This one looks like a great spot. Fire up some cat. Now, at number 3, we have Nikola Vucevic. Lots of value at center, especially at the top end. It's going to be interesting how to sift through that. We've talked about Jimmy Butler before, Vucevic on the other end of this matchup. Tough spot against Bam Adebayo, but 8,300 on FanDuel. 8,600 on DraftKings, not my favorite price in the world. But for right now, I think Vooch is super solid. I have him hitting his FanDuel goal 36% of the time. That is enough to push him all the way to the number 3 spot in my rankings. Alrighty, coming in number 2, my boy, Luka Doncic. I've said ad nauseum in the past 8 players that we've talked about. There's tons of value out here, and that makes it really easy to pay all the way up for the best. And that's what Luka Doncic is. 10-9 on FanDuel, 11-9 on DraftKings. That's a big price tag, and he still gets to that goal, which is 63.7, 31% of the time. I have him getting to his target score on FanDuel 50% of the time. You don't see that all that often. I think Luka is in a tremendous spot today, and I cannot wait to have a ton of him when it gets to lock. And finally, coming in at number 1, the pride of the Campbell Camels, Chris Clemons. Clemons should see pretty sizable run with Russell Westbrook and James Harden out. The last time that both guys missed a game, Clemons played north of 30 minutes. I'm only giving him 28 just to make sure that the projections don't go crazy. He scored 1.2 FanDuel points per minute in the time that Russell Westbrook and James Harden have been off the floor. This one just feels safe. So long as we know that he is going to be playing, and I see no reason that he wouldn't be, he is the easiest piece of value that you can play today. I expect him to get blowout run if it goes wrong. I expect him to be involved if it's going well. I like Chris Clemons today, and I will be using him as my primary value option. Alrighty, guys, that is it. Those are my NBA DFS contenders for Monday, January 27th. Be sure to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell so you know when this, every other video on the channel goes live. Use the promo code ConTENDER to get yourself 50% off your first week of Awesemo Plus. I will be back later tonight on Live Before Lock with Chris Spags. So best of luck tonight, and I will talk to you later.